Hi guys, it's Mrs. Rast here, and today's notes focus on the traits of a civilization. Civilizations have similar things in common. It doesn't matter if they're ancient like Mesopotamia or China or present day like the United States civilization. They're all going to have similarities. So when you take the notes today, we're going to look at what those similarities are and examples of them. First thing I need you to do is make sure you're on the right page. You should be using your notebook, pages 15 and 16 if you need the additional space to take your notes. Draw your T-chart, and the title of your notes today are Civilizations, which are advanced states of human society. So go ahead and write that as your title. Make sure to include your date. Okay, all civilizations have the following traits. The first trait is farming. Farming is a heading and will go on the left side of your page. The details about farming, that people are going to settle down and stay in one spot. They are no longer hunting and gathering because now they have crops coming up every year. In fact, they have a surplus or more than enough crops. That's detail, guys. So those details about farming will go on the right side. Then our next heading is called growth of cities. As we have a surplus of crops or more than enough food, the population is going to grow. We're going to have more and more people join our city, and we develop into big cities. So think of like today's cities of Los Angeles or Chicago, big, booming, highly populated areas. A third trait of civilizations is government. That's a heading, and then put the details on the right. Government is going to be where we have someone in charge, delegating, helping to set the rules, keeping society in order, okay? So in ancient times, that might have been a king or a pharaoh. Today we have a president or a mayor or a governor. Still basically the same thing, someone in charge. Our fourth type of trait and fourth heading is religion. When we have a civilization, there's usually a belief in a supreme being to help with unanswered questions. So in ancient times, they might have depended on nature gods. They might have had many gods. In today's world, you might see a belief in God or Allah or Brahma, depending on where you're at in the world. Our next trait is a creation of social classes. If you want to go ahead and fill in that definition there, you can on the right side. It's a group of people with common characteristics. So in ancient times, the social classes were very formal or very strict. So at the top of the social class might be the king. He has the most power. And maybe the middle class would be like a scribe, a soldier, a merchant. And then in the lower class, you would have peasants or farmers or slaves. Today in the United States, we don't have a formal social class. So a couple examples I can think of would be if you've ever taken a trip and been on an airplane, and they will usually call first class people to get on the plane first, and then business class, and then economy class. Okay, that's a separation. Or if you've been in the cafeteria at a school, people are sitting with people that have common interests. So you might find people that all love football sitting together, or people who like theater sitting together, or people who are into dance or art maybe sitting together. Our next trait of civilizations is called division of labor. The details about that mean that's different types of jobs. Before we have civilization, people are mainly focused on where their next meal is coming from. How do I get enough to eat? Well, when we have a surplus of food, that is not the main concentration, so people can diversify and do many different types of jobs in order to keep the society running. So in ancient times, you might have a group that are soldiers, a group that are merchants, a group that are government officials. Today you might have a police officer, a Target cashier, a teacher, a post office worker. So think about your parents, think about your neighbors that you know who are adults. They all have different jobs. It keeps the community running. Our next trait is arts and advancements. These would be categorized as things that people create to show the greatness of their city. So in Egyptian times, something that was created to show how powerful and strong Egypt was were the Egyptian pyramids. In China, you have the Great Wall of China. In the United States, think about monuments here like Mount Rushmore or the Washington Monument. Those all show our history, what we take pride in and means something to us. We have economy, which is basically a way of getting what you need. In ancient times, that might have been through trade or bartering, and today we use a money system with the dollar. Okay, our last two traits are record keeping, a way of keeping track of things, history, their trade, a census count, taxes. You could see a picture of cuneiform. That's Mesopotamian writing. They were the first writers. They were busy keeping records of their trade. We keep records today ourselves. Then they have time for fun or recreation. Because we are no longer constantly looking for food and we have a division of labor, once you're done with your job, you have some free time. So you might play a board game. You might go shopping. You might go to the park. Things that you could do to relax. Okay, so by now you should have your notes done. I hope you can see this. You've got your headings on the left. You have your detail on the right. I actually ran out of room on page 15, so I went ahead and went on to 16, and that's perfectly okay. Then you're going to put a line at the bottom, and lastly, a 1 to 2 sentence summary of what your notes were about. Be ready to go tomorrow, and I'll see you later. Bye.